again from Rabbitcha Money. Welcome, Balaji.
Welcome, Bharat. How are you?
I'm okay. Are the market's okay? That's the bigger question.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. So, what do you think? What happened yesterday?
Right. So take a guess. Is it the economic data from the U.S.? Is it the clouds of war in the Middle East? Is it the Japanese currency and bond yields? What's happening? What do you think?
I mean, see, there has been the recession worries in the past. I mean, over the last couple of months, the war, Middle East war, and lot many things. But sudden
Right.
crash, I think it's something to do with the carry trade unwinding because of the
Okay.
BOJ.
I would tend to agree. And these days recession is actually not bad news for markets because
Right.
I mean recession means easier money supply and better news for markets.
Yeah, yeah.
So
In fact,
yeah,
the investors wait for such times.
right. So yeah, even I would think it's the Japanese carry trade. So let's take a minute to explain what that is and how it could have affected markets. Of course, we're all speculating,
Yes.
right? So what is a carry trade? A carry trade is a trade where you borrow money where the interest rates are low and deploy money in a place where interest rates are higher,
Right.
right? And making the spread.
Right. Something like an interest rate arbitrage, utilizing that.
Right. It's I would say it's a little more complicated than that. It's an interest rate
Yeah.
arbitrage and an inflation arbitrage. So
Correct.
if the inflation is also higher in a place where you're deploying money, it doesn't make a difference,
Right.
right? It's
Right.
not worth the trade.
Right.
But in Japan, interest rates are lower and inflation is also lower,
No. True.
right? And if you deploy it in a place like America or Europe, the inflation is largely under control now, but interest rates are much higher. So it's a beautiful carry trade,
True. True.
right? So that started unwinding because BOJ increased the Japanese interest rates, and yen rallied because of that, and yen has gained about more than 10% as of yesterday. I haven't checked it today. I need to check.
Right.
Uh,
Right.
So a lot of, I mean, the stop losses of a lot of traders would have gotten hit, and so those trades would have unwound, and that would push up yen even higher, right? Causing unwinding of other trades, right? So what's
Right.
the implication? So if somebody wants to, but let's get this right. This is a brilliant trade in the long term, right? While it has short-term shocks. I mean, it's the closest thing that exists to free money in the long term, right?
True.
So
Yeah.
so there might be traders, and there will be traders who would want to hold on to that trade, right? But because of your mark-to-market losses, you're gonna have to pay that up, and maybe put up more margins because your broker or your intermediary sees bigger value at risk. Right. So you're going to have to unwind positions elsewhere. I think that's exactly what has happened.
Right.
Right. And in a market like this, where, stocks and specifically tech, AI, these things are overvalued. I mean, overvalued relative to history, right? We don't know, overvalued or not relative to future. But,
Right.
I mean, you've made a lot of money there, and you think there is a recession is around the corner.
Right.
So it's easy to sell those assets. I mean, it's
Correct.
an easy decision to sell those assets.
Right.
I guess that's what has happened, and I think it's not the Middle East, definitely not, because if you look at oil, that doesn't indicate anything of that sort.
Right. Right. In fact, the,
right?
the
And
war has been there for quite some time now. I think the markets have
right.
already, seen those corrections. So
Well,
I don't think so. That's
there are wars that the markets care about, and there are wars the markets don't care about. So,
yeah, yeah,
that's the unfortunate reality. Uh,
that's true.
so
Right.
I think the recession fears has played a role, but it's not the trigger,
Correct.
right?
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And
I would say
of course, I think because of the BOJ, there will be
right.
some movement of money into the U.S. Treasury bonds, right? You could see that as well because now
All
the
right.
dollar is
That's
more
it. No, that's
valuable.
it. No, it's not because dollar is less valuable against the yen
Right.
specifically. However, because U.S. Treasury is a safe haven asset,
Right.
right? So it's like this. It's the tertiary reaction, right? The first event is the BOJ action. The second one is the rally in the Japanese yen.
Correct. Yeah.
The third one is the volatility in the equity markets, especially Nasdaq and tech related stuff.
Right.
And other markets also. Not just tech, but mainly tech more than others.
Right. Right.
Uh, right. The fourth effect is, the investors who are scared by this, they get into bonds.
Mm.
So
Right.
it's a super tertiary effect
Right.
where okay. Also, given that Fed has announced its intention to start reversing its
Cutting. Yeah.
policy,
Right.
right? It might happen a little sooner than they would have thought. We don't know. Again,
Yeah.
we're not here to speculate what's not known,
True. True.
right? But what's known as reversal is a policy reversal is coming. So it's again that's an easy decision to get into there. Is that?
Right. I think. Do you think it's in the correction mode, the U.S. markets?
Well, if you look at the futures as of today, I think they've slightly recovered, and so this is basically a side effect of what we saw in the world equity markets, apart from Japan. Japan, of course, is the main origin of it's the
Right.
epicenter of the crisis.
That's correct.
But
Yeah.
what you saw in other markets was a side effect,
Mm.
right?
Mm.
And I don't expect it to last terribly long. I don't expect this to be a black swan. I'm sticking my neck out and saying that. Uh,
Right.
it could be a gray rhino at best, not a black swan.
Right. I agree with that.
So,
Yeah.
but even that might be avoided.
Mm.
So if you remember, 2 years ago, the same thing happened uh, because of a tax cut in the UK.
Correct.
And the bond yields increased, the currency crashed, and but that got corrected in a day or two.
Right.
So
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
so this might be as fast as that, or it might take a week or two, but I don't expect it to last much longer.
Right. Yeah. I agree.
And I don't expect permanent damage.
Mm. Right. Right.
Right.
Agree. Okay. So let's come to how is it going to affect the crypto world? So do you see any parallels there?
Okay. Well, let's repeat what we've been repeating for some time. Right. Crypto is just like you know another sector of the economy with higher volatility. And that's how I would look at it. Right.
Right.
Uh, so of course, crypto crashed more than other things, and that's expected. However, it also recovered sharper.
Right. It did. It did
Right.
recover well. Yeah.
So I would say, if you believe in the asset class, And if you have identified good tokens, and regardless of whether you own them or not, I would say, buy good tokens on a dip.
Right. Yeah.
That's about it. And if Bitcoin crashed, 13%, whatever,
Right.
that's, and if you believe in Bitcoin because of the supply control mechanism or whatever else, or the true decentralization that it brings, go for it. And if you believe in some other currency, go for it. But make sure data supports your decision. So,
Right. Right. So
because
you're recommending to hodl instead of selling it out.
I'm recommending to buy on dips if you can, if you have the money,
Okay.
and if you know what to buy, buy.
Right. Right.
Right. So I would say that. I mean that. So you can never time the bottom exactly,
Hmm.
but when you buy, the cheaper you buy, the better for you.
That's true.
Again, this is buying for the long term. There could be short term distress.
Yes. 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 There will be. So I think
There
you're
could
right.
be, and there may not be also. We don't know. But nobody can time the exact bottom.
Right.
But the cheaper you buy good assets, the better,
Right. Right. That's true.
right?
Okay.
But
So
yeah,
so
make sure, but make sure you don't buy bad assets. There is 95% of them are bad assets. So
well, yeah. So that's your poor investment. That we can't do anything about it. So yeah.
no, that's what I'm saying. So know what to buy, and once you know what to buy,
Yeah.
you use the opportunity to buy it cheaper,
Absolutely. Yeah. Okay.
right? So yeah, go on, please
So
go on.
so you're suggesting now there's an opportunity to churn profits.
Yes, yeah, exactly. Why not? But so as Nathan Mayer Rothschild said, buy there when there's blood on the street, even if it's your own blood.
Right. True.
So, so
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
this has never backfired for me, and it hasn't backfired for a lot of people. So
Right. So in
yeah.
fact, if you look at yesterday, I think Warren Buffett sold his
Hmm.
top holding stocks, which is Apple. So do you think
Right.
there's some indicator that he's thinking of making
Well, let me put it this way,
right,
right? With due respect to the sage from Omaha, uh, not every action is an indicator,
right,
right? So this could just be overvaluation of the market. It might have nothing to do with Apple, right?
right, right?
And let's face it, Berkshire Hathaway owned a lot of Apple stock, so
Yes,
they might be
yeah,
just balancing the outsized nature of Apple in the portfolio,
right,
right? That's possible.
right,
And yes, so recession. This is more to do with recession fears than Japanese yen. So
right,
recession means and Apple being a consumer discretionary, it could mean slower growth.
right, yeah, yeah. That's a good
That's
point.
the only possible of an indicator, the possibility of that being an indicator. But but
Yeah,
but there's a caveat. Let's put it this way, right? So take yourself a little more seriously than you take the siege from Omaha. I'll give you my own personal example. During COVID, when
mm,
the travel, the flight industry, everything was disrupted, right?
yep,
I owned a transportation ETF, right? And someday I read the news that Warren Buffett has sold his airline stocks, and
mm,
I followed him, and
mm,
I missed out on a 5x.
right. No, absolutely. I mean, even Mr. Warren Buffett is not all right all the time. Even for him,
Exactly.
it's difficult to time the market. Nobody can, in fact.
Right.
So I agree with that. But I mean, it's also, I think, some indication of, tech stocks being corrected in the market. Do you think it's tech stocks were
Right. Right.
overvalued? Yeah.
Right. I think you can take that much of an indication from Mr. Buffett's action,
Right.
but don't take it too far.
Right.
So
Right. Right. Yeah. Yeah.
yeah.
I think it's not, it's just the timing that coincides. I mean, it's just a coincidence between carry trades unwinding, VOJ, and this happening. It's not, these two are not really correlated, isn't it?
Not exactly. Not
Right.
exactly.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I think Mr. Buffett would have done whatever he did a few days ago because this is the filing that we see.
Correct. Correct. So even
Yeah.
without the BOJ, this would have happened.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Well, I think we've covered enough for the event. Probably we will keep more video. We'll be posting more videos on the subsequent events that follows up after this. Let's see. So as of now, I think we are good, right?
All right. But before we go, if you have a a few closing thoughts. Number one, please avoid buying puts because there's panic in the market. Because there's panic, they're already overpriced, and
Right.
given the time value decay, it can be
Right.
it can be a double whammy. So don't play it that way. Play this using treasuries. I think it's a no-brainer to get into them, especially the long-term ones like 20-year, 30-year ones like TLT. So that's a good play,
Mm.
right? But Bitcoin is a decent play,
Mm.
right? And I mean, we don't know where the tech bad news or the economy bad news is going to stop. But once it stops, I think Nasdaq is going to be a good play.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah. That's a good one.
that's about it.
Yeah. 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 That's about it. I think
All
let's
right.
take a leave and get back again
Alrighty.
with more videos. Yeah. Please like,
Okay.
subscribe,
See you.
and comment on our channel. Yeah. See you.
Share.
Bye bye. And share. Yeah, of course.
Alrighty.